This is my pear bonsai tree from air layer. I found that there are black spots on few of the leaves few days ago. This is bringing me to the topic of protection of my trees. Received recently the question from Svetlin about how I'm dealing with pests and diseases in my garden. I would like to share exactly what I do when I need to do some kind of protection of my trees. I struggle sometimes with infections, aphids, and with some kind of fungal diseases on my trees. Since beginning with bonsai some 17 years ago, I always looked for ways how to protect my trees naturally. Why is that? Because in my previous place I was having very small garden, which was around 60 square meters. My children were very small when I was starting, and they were playing next to me. And whenever I was out, they were with me, and they were touching the stones and touching the wood and plants and everything. And whenever I had to take some measures to fight bugs, aphids, or some kind of mildew on my oaks, I was always hesitant. Because whenever I went to the store and I was looking for solution after Googling on internet which product will be good for application on which kind of fungal or insect problem, everywhere on the backside is list of harmful effects of the product on environment. As a standard on almost all products there is that it is harmful for water and all the water life which is in the rivers. Some of them are even worse, very dangerous symbols. This is usually insecticides. Whenever I need to deal with stuff like this, I struggle. I will tell you honestly, you are basically coming to YouTube channel for advice, and with these things I really cannot give you some kind of solid advice. I will tell you that I'm struggling to do something which is good, helpful, but not harmful to environment and to pollinators. Since year one, I was looking for ways how to protect the trees naturally, how to use the natural products which are not harmful to people and not harmful to animals. I haven't found any universal solution, but in my experience, some natural methods are working, and I will tell you that for some years I'm using this product. It's available, it's from Czech company, most probably it's available everywhere in Slovakia, in Czech Republic, and maybe in some countries as well. This product is containing pangam oil, Pongamia pinnata, 868 grams per liter. I'm using it as a protection against mildew on species which are susceptible to mildew, like oaks, birches. Most probably it a little bit protects also from aphids and from other type of insects. It creates the film around the leaf, and its leaves is shiny for a few days, and the oil is most probably killing some of the aphids which are on the plant, and the ants which usually bring the aphids to my plants, which are in abundance every year in my garden. This year is really special. Ants are everywhere, even here they are working everywhere. So they are bringing the pests on my trees, and most probably the ants don't like the smell of this oil and are not so much abundant. After using this, I'm sometimes spraying it once or twice a month. It works a little bit for me. Also, I'm trying to use, for ants, I'm also experimenting with this stuff. This is, I found it on internet. This is, I think, the crushed Diatomaceous Earth. Something like crushed sea creatures or seashells or something like this. And it's very fine. I'm using it as a powder, and also a few days ago I mixed it with the oil and sprayed it on the leaves. You can find several videos of gardeners from all around the world which are using this as a protection against ants and aphids. Basically the insects, when they touch, this is very fine powder, when they touch the powder, lose the protection and dry out somehow. The problem is that most probably it also harms some other beneficial insects which land on the plant, but generally it's not harmful. But you have to be really careful. As with the oil, always use the filter and the protection of your breathing system. So I use the filter on my nose and mouth, and also always use the gloves and goggles to protect yourself, and if it's possible, wear long shirt and long trousers, not to put any kind of substance on yourself. Regarding this Diatomaceous Earth, I will use it more this year, and I will let you know later how it will work for me. But for Pangam oil, I can say that it's really good product. It works for me really well. I can recommend to you. It smells a little bit, but it's not some kind of dramatic. In case the problem is really serious, like the black spots on this pear, no oil is going to treat that. So I really need to use very serious sulfur or copper-based fungicide and spray it. What I did initially, that when I first saw the leaves with the black spots, I picked all the infected leaves, and it helped a little bit, but it didn't stop it. And I can see that after a few days there are still some leaves which have these black spots on it. It's a very common disease on pear trees everywhere in my country. Most probably there is no 100% treatment of this disease. So I will use a little bit of oil, a little bit of copper-based fungicide, and I will pick the damaged leaves, burn them. I'm using the natural protection or natural-based products because I have children and I have a dog which are going around in the garden. I'm also touching my trees daily, and I wouldn't like to affect it by some kind of really dangerous product. Of course, in case the problem is very serious and there is a very strong infestation, and I see that aphids or some other insects are getting out of hand, I'm using something like karate. It's very strong insecticide. It works well. It's really harmful to environment. What I usually do when I spray only individual trees which are problematic, which are infected, and then I try to store the tree in closed garage for a few days so the pollinators are not touching, are not visiting this tree, and then after maybe 2-3 days I put it back on my shelf, but still I try not to touch it, you know. Maybe you will say that it's a naive approach, but my opinion is that we need to be careful with stuff like this, because we are responsible for our environment and our planet, and a lot of these substances are really harmful to all the living species, and if we overdo it with that, it could be really damaging to environment. And I hope we will not be alive when something like this happens, but in case the pollinators like bees will disappear from our planet, and what we will tell to our children, that we need to protect our trees, and it was our hobby and we wanted to save them from aphids, so we used really dangerous products and spray it all around in the garden in abundance, so all the aphids are gone, and with the aphids all the bees and bumblebees and all the beneficial insects are gone. How we will explain this? I don't want to be the one who will explain it. Of course, it's a little bit naive approach. Next to me is one of the biggest orchards with apples and cherries in the county, and the owner is spraying the living shit out of these trees. I will tell you, they are using really big tractors with few 1,000-liter containers, and they are spraying it many times a year. But this is their livelihood. They need to, protect it, because nobody will buy the ugly apples. This is the reality of the life. But for me, the trees are only hobby, and I want to have my little place as clean as possible. I want to be responsible, and I wouldn't like to really poison my dog and my kids. So I'm super careful, and I'm resorting to strong insecticide only in case of really urgent need. So this is my few words regarding the protection of trees. Back to this pear, I layered this tree. Originally, I collected this tree from the wild many years ago. It wasn't originally like that, and it wasn't really big tree. Unfortunately, when I was starting to dig something, I think it was Crataegus hawthorn. It was just about a meter from this tree, and when I was starting to collect this tree, I need to uncover a lot of soil around this tree. So I said, okay, this one will not survive if I leave it there. The hole was too big and it was too close to my hawthorn. So I decided to collect it as well. Unfortunately, when I was starting digging bigger hole around the tree, I found out that the shape of the trunk was like hockey stick. So it went like 70, 80 centimeters into one side, and the roots were here. On this hockey part, there was absolutely no roots. So I collected it anyway, because it was in such a situation that it wouldn't survive in the wild anymore. I brought it home, planted it into a really big plastic container, and it was there for many years. And I knew that most probably I will not do anything with this. Then I was starting to search on fora. I asked the question if anybody has any information how viable is option of air layering the pears. What I found online was that it's very complicated to do, and most probably it will not work. But later I found out that one of my friends in eastern Slovakia was successfully air layering few pears. This was really encouraging. And then my blogger friend Vlad from Czech Republic, his blog, you can find the link to his blog in the description of the email. It's Czech Yamadori. Vlad was also sharing his approach to layering the pear successfully, so I went for it. Traditionally, I peel the bark, put the pond basket there, put the moss in it, and leave it for a season. Unfortunately, after first season, the roots were not there. And there is a persistence part of this story. When I was checking with my friends again after one season, they told me that recut the callus, apply stimulator again, wait another season. So I did that. Most probably it was around 2020 or 2021. I don't remember exactly. So I put the basket down, recut the callus, applied the rooting hormone in gel or powder form, put the new basket there, put again new layer of moss, and waited for most probably 2 years. All the time the tree was outside in the garden, no protection, no winter protection, just usual my winter protection as for any other trees. And after 2 years the tree had the roots. The tree was separated. You can see most probably the pictures from the separation. It was sitting after the separation in big plastic pot, and about 1 or 2 years later it was changed for this Chinese pot. I wasn't checking really how the roots look like. They are, now about 3-4 millimeters in diameter. There was enough roots when I was repotting the tree. Tree is doing really well recently in recent months, apart of black spots and fungal problem, but this is problem of all the pears everywhere. So I like the tree now. I think it has really fancy bark, and it's twin trunk. All the structure is growing up like the pears usually do, with very straight, very awkward sections, like this branch here. You see, this is typical growth pattern of any pears. So they grow up like this. It's been most probably around 4 or 5 years since I air layered the tree, and now I'm happy that I didn't give up and I was persistent in doing this. And sometimes this is very important message for all of you. Don't give up. If you are doing something and you think that your method should work, study, try to ask for help. Your friends, try to ask on a fora where very skilled people are doing something. We now are living in a global era when you basically can ask anybody from all around the world, and most probably all the good guys will give you some answer. Sometimes persistence pays off, and this is my message from today. And in the second part of the video I will go around and cut back the tree, and maybe if I will have a time I will apply a few guy wires. When during the work I will think about something which I forgot to say, then I will. I certainly want to say is that I would like to thank all of you who commented on my last video about design of trees, and I was super excited from all your positive comments. All the comments were positive, so my disclaimer worked really well. And there are some really good advice from few of you guys, and I have few thoughts how to build up on this topic of design of trees in a naturalistic way, and I will certainly do another episode based on your comments there. So thank you very much for all of the commenters. I will just cut back on one pair of leaves, somewhere on only one note. This one is really awkward. I most probably wired it out, but it's going in and out. Maybe I will use it for something, but I will leave it for now. So. Once I saw the video where I think it was Graham Potter who was doing the styling of hawthorn as a precaution at the beginning of the video. He cut off all the thorns, and I found it really useful, and I'm doing it now all the time when I work on thorny species, especially hawthorns. But also this pear could be really nasty with these thorns. If you remove them on those places where you remove them, they will not reappear again. So it's really helpful. The primary trunk needs to be a little taller. It looks like it wants to be tall like this into the future, and maybe this is too tall already. So maybe I can think about reducing some of those branches which are going up and keep something shorter. So to keep this part more constrained. Most probably I can do this. This is ugly bulge here. I can remove it here. This is the part of the main tree. So here is the space where those crowns are merging. I'm going to pull this branch a little bit here. This is too stiff, so I'm afraid to break it, but I would like to pull it more here. But it will be harder, but I can do it in stages. So to make it wider and everything else, this one maybe, it's going back into the crown. So either I will cut this part away or force it to grow like this, which is possible with a piece of wire. Also this can be pulled a little bit here. I will use a piece of steel wire. I will make small hooks here. This is very tough. I don't want to break this one. So I already cracked few of this kind of branches when doing this, and it's not really worth it. Thorns. This branchlet is a little bit tricky. It looks like it's useless. Basically, it's useless here in the crown. But if you look closely, this is carved deadwood on this sub-trunk. And also this is all that. So in case I have a branch like this one, or this one, or this one, these are basically the branches which are stopping the dead part of the trunk to die even more. So they are like stop branch. I'm really sometimes reluctant to remove them because they are keep the subflow around that part of the trunk. I have a feeling they are helping me to keep those part of a trunk healthy, preventing the trunk to die back even more. Even if it looks useless, it will stay here for a while. Maybe it will go, maybe it will stay, but I think for now it's fulfilling its purpose. I have a feeling it was done enough. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 branches on the main tree were moved more out and away from the trunk so they can move in some kind of elegant moves. This is basically the growth pattern of the pear. They will grow and really in almost in 90 degree they will grow again and down the older the tree is. Sometimes this is very typical for a pear. Grow up, then it's broken, then it's grow and then grow up. This kind of really sharp turns on a natural on a tree like this one. It's now it's 90 degrees but in horizontal position, so it's typical growth pattern. In case I would cut it back to this bud and it will grow up then again, and this is this kind of zigzag growth. I think I'm done. I will see how the tree will respond. Most probably it will be okay because I wasn't really disturbing it too much. And then I hope I will not see too many black spots again. So this is how it looks like. Yeah, I may have pulled this one a little bit down. Here is the best fixing point for it. So that's it. It looks like this. Few wires, few cuts. It's still a long way to go, but I think it's ready for next season. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time.